Hey, welcome to 1.1 Introduction to Function. Today our objective is students will be able to determine if a graph is a function and calculate output values. So a few definition is the first one is a relation. A relation is a mapping of or pairing of input with output values. A function, on the other hand, is any rule that assigns exactly one output value, which is your y value, for each input value, which is your x value. Your input value is also known as your independent variable, and then my y value, or my output, is known as my dependent variable. So our first exercise says, an internet music service offers a plan whereby users pay a flat monthly fee of $5 and can then download songs for 10 cents each. What are the independent and dependent variable in this scenario? So your independent variable, again, it's your input value, which is your x value. In this case, it will be the number of downloads. And my dependent variable is going to be the amount charged. My dependent depends, this amount depends on the number of downloads I did. B, fill in the table for a variety of independent values. So, if I don't download any songs, I still have to pay that $5. If I download 5 songs, I know it's 10 cents each, that's 50 cents. Plus this $5 that I had, it will be $5.50. 10 songs are going to cost me $1, plus the 5 that I had to pay up front, which is 6. 20 songs are going to cost me $2, plus that $5 that I had to pay, which is 7. C, let the number of downloads be represented by the variable x and the amount charged represented by the variable y. Write an equation that models y as a function of x, meaning I want a function y equals something. So I know the total is going to be the $5 that I need to pay up front plus whatever I download at 10 cents each. So I know it's going to be $5 no matter what, plus my downloads and 10 cents each. So I know I'm going to be 10 cents is 0.10 and this is going to be x. So however many downloads I put in x, I will get an output y. D says, based on the equation you found in C, which is y equals 5 plus 0.10x, produce a graph of this function for all values of x on the interval 0 less than or equal to x and x is less than or equal to 40. Use your calculator to generate additional coordinates. So what I want you to do is pause the video, try it on your calculator, how to enter a function. You don't know what to do, see me or Miss Ewing, and we will help you. Now that you got a chance to try it, you should have a graph that looks like this. I know at 0, it's going to be $5. That's my flat fee. At 10, it's going to be $6. At 20, it's going to be $7. When there's 30 songs, it's going to be $8. And if I download 40 songs, it's going to be about $9. So you should have a graph that looks like this. Now let's talk about the vertical line test. A relation is a function if and only if no vertical line intersects the graph of one equation at more than 1 point. So here I have some graph. I did the vertical line test. It intersected 1 point. Check. That's a function. Here it intersects at 1, 2, 3. So this makes it not a function. Just to recap, a function can be in terms of 5 things. It can be an equation, a table, a graph, a mapping diagram, or an ordered pair. Let's look at exercise number 2. One of the following graph shows a relationship where x is a function of x and one does not. Draw a vertical line at x equals 3. So at x equals 3, let's draw a line. So let's get a color out here. So I have x equals 3, which is a line that looks like this. And I have to do this for both graphs, 0, 1, 2, 3. I have two lines that look like this. Actually, that one's not perfect. It has to be on 3. There we go. So it says, give all output values for each graph to an input at 3, meaning when x is 3, what's my output? I drew the line already, so all I'm going to do in relation 8, I see that it hits the graph at 2 spot. 1, 2. So I want the output. My output is my y. So I'm going to come across here, and it's actually this point right here. So if this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so at y equals 4, or y equals negative 4, which is right at the bottom here. Okay? So looking at relationship B, which is my graph right here, I want to see what's the output. Remember, output is y values. So at x equals 3, this line intersects this graph at one point. I go straight over to my y-axis, and this is y equals negative 2. So the question says now, explain which of these relation is a function. By definition, it says a relation is a function if and only if no vertical line intersects the graph at more than one point. So looking at this, I know that relationship B is a function because it passes the vertical line test. Let's look at graph number 3. The graph of the function y equals x squared minus 4x plus 1 is shown below. State the y-intercept. So really quick vocab. Y-intercept is where the graph intersects the y-axis. So this is my graph, this is my y-axis. I see there's an intersection right here. So my y-intercept is at a positive. So y-intercept is equal to 1. Between what two consecutive integer does the larger x-intercept lie? So x-intercept, of course, is where the graph intersects the x-axis. Notice here I see it. There's one intersection here in green and another here. But the key word, it says the larger. So because we're dealing on the positive x, the larger one is on the right. So between what two numbers here? And consecutive, as you remember from Algebra 1, is number that comes right after each other. So I know this point is between, somewhere between these 2 points. So let's see, this is going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So B is between 3 and 4. C says, draw the horizontal line y equals negative 2 on this graph. So I want to draw a horizontal line. Let's get a little color here. At y equals negative 2. Y equals negative 2 is at the bottom. This means it's a line straight over. D says, using these two graphs, find all value of x that solve the equation. So this is one graph, and this line in blue is my y equals negative 2. Find a solution for this two graph. Solution means where does these two graphs intersect? Bam. Bam. So the two graphs intersect, find all the values of x. So just the value of x. So what I have to do is come up and see where this intersect the x-axis. So I know the values of x are going to be when x is equal to 1 or when x is equal to, what's this point right here? 1, 2, 3. Verify that these values of x are solution by plugging in the values of x into the equation so that on your graphing calculator. Write the way you enter this on your calculator below. So remember my original equation up here was y equals x squared minus 4x plus 1. So I want to plug in, and I'm going to write e up here. So my equation was y equals x squared minus 4x squared minus 4x plus 1. So I want to plug in these values. So the first one I'm going to plug in is 1. So what's the value of y when I plug in 1? 1 squared minus 4 times 1 plus 1. 1 squared minus 4 times 1. This is 1 squared. 1 minus 4 plus 1. This is going to give me negative 2, which matches my equation that I drew. So this one is right. Check. If I was to plug in 3, y equals 3 squared minus 4 times 3 plus 1. This will also give me negative 2. And again, double check these on your calculator. Now really quick, most of us forgot how to do these on the TI Nspire. So I made a little cheat sheet for you. The first thing it says to clear everything on your calculator. So whenever you get a calculator, other people has been working on it. So what you're going to do is go to, on the home screen, go to A, which is calculate on the home screen. Then you're going to press DOC. It's lit up in here. And then the letter B. That's going to clear everything on the calculator. To enter graphs on your calculator, go to the graph on the home screen, which looks like this. If you don't see the f of x, which should be a pop-up a window that looks like this, if you don't see this f of x here, just hit the word tab. Once you hit tab, enter whatever function you need to enter, and then press the word enter. You can also get the table so you don't have to do any calculation by hitting menu, table, split screen, which is choice number 1, and this should be SCREEN. Not RR. This should be EEN. And then the last thing I want to point out is the book. I call it the book, which is next to the 9 key, the number 9 key. This is where you can enter fractions, square root, exponents, and so much more. Alrighty guys, try those practice problems, and then when you're ready, come see me for your quiz.